Hi y'all. I am here to do a I'm here to do a quick video. I told you all I would be back to talk to you about my mother. Um, Today is July the 1st, and it's been 50 days since my mother passed away. And so I've decided to video blog what happened, this is my therapy. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 little babies. I call them babies, but excuse me, I have 3 little people who depend on me, and for me, this is just, I don't know, part of my healing. So, let's see. On May, okay, I really can't. I guess I could start at the end and then go back to the beginning. But, on May 16th, that's the last time I saw my mother. So I can start with, because my mother had something called ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and basically the words, the way, it's basically acute, meaning very serious, lymphoblastic, in the lymph system, leukemia in the blood. So what happened was my mother came to my house. She came to my house on a, she hadn't been feeling well. This was back almost 2 years ago. So August 3rd, August the, I don't know, somewhere between August the 4th and the 5th. She came to my house, and she hadn't been feeling well for a few days, but so she came, and we had spoken over the telephone, and so she came, and she wasn't feeling well, so she drove over, and she wouldn't even get out of the van. She didn't feel well. So she did eventually get out. She got out slow. But it makes me want to cry when I think about her coming into the house. She came into the house, and Lily, and she played with the kids. She didn't feel well, but she still played with the kids. So, you know how it is when, like, your kid is sick, but they still try to play. You know what I'm saying? Well, she played with the kids and everything, and then when it was time for her to go, she sat, and Kenneth was at work. This was on a Friday, and at that time, I was doing my coupon, and I was really, I had my list. I had everything together, and so when Kenneth got off work, I was going to go do my little couponing thing. That was kind of what I was doing back then, because, let's see, was Braxton born? No, Braxton wasn't born yet. My third wasn't born. Of course he wasn't born. So Mama came, she was leaving, and she sat in her van, and she had her head kind of to the side in the van, and so she wouldn't even drive herself home. So I knew she wasn't well. I knew she wasn't feeling well, so I went out to the van, and I'm sorry, I hear somebody. I went out to the van, and I was like, this is not right, because she's supposed to have been home. So I said, Mama, you don't have to. Um, she said she was going to drive herself to the emergency room. I'm sorry, I'm the only one up. And I'm hearing noises. So she said she would drive herself to the emergency room, but she just couldn't do it. And her husband was sitting in the van. She was sitting there. It was hot as flames. Because, mind you, this was in August, so it was hot. Here in August, it's hot until it starts getting close to time for school. But anyway, so I walked out and I was like, Mama, just wait until Ken get home and I'll drive you to the hospital. You don't have to drive yourself. So she came back in and waited. And as soon as Kenneth got home, I gathered my coupon stuff and I took Mama and her husband to the emergency room where, I dropped them off because I had to get to Publix on time. So I dropped them off at the ER. I went to Publix and got my coupon stuff, got home, unloaded my stuff, and I said, Mama, you call me whenever they release you and I'll come and get you. Well, she never called. And so I called her and I was like, okay, so what's up? So her and her husband was there and they sat and waited and whatever. And so she told me they was going to keep her. And I said, oh, okay. So then she said they was going to keep her because they needed they needed another doctor to come in or something. I don't know. But Mama have never really been she had never been really good at like giving all the information. So she just was like, they're going to keep me. Okay. So I was like, I didn't think a big deal out of it. I was like, okay. Excuse me. So the next day came, which was Saturday. They kept her. And then the next day, Sunday, they kept her. And I was like, they surely is keeping her for a long time. And every day I would call and be like, multiple times a day, like, what's going on? And so she was saying that what they said was Monday they was going to have, the doctor was going to come in instead of, whoever works over the weekend. So I was like, okay, that's understandable. But, so we went to visit Mama. We went to see Mama Saturday. I think it was maybe Sunday in the hospital. And hindsight is always 2020. So when I was leaving her room, I saw that she was on the oncology floor, but it didn't ring a bell to me or anything. So but first when Mama said she was on the third floor or the fourth floor, I thought, well, that's kind of weird, So, but anyway, I didn't think much more of it. Went to see her, went home. Okay, so then Monday came, and this was when she got her diagnosis. Monday, August the 5th. And I believe, it was 2013. Yes, 2013. And so right before I called the hospital to see, what the doctor said. And I don't know if you all are hearing any notifications coming up on my phone, but it might be. Anyway, so but before I called to see, had the doctor come in and see Mama, whatever, my sister called, Sylvia. Now, okay, sidebar. My mother's children, all of us are children. We're prophetic and we can see things, we feel things, we dream things, okay, and much of it comes to pass. So anyway, Sylvia called me and she asked, had I heard from Mama? I said, no, I hadn't heard anything. And she said, girl, I dreamed Mama had cancer. And I said, well, we just praying and believing God, and we don't know what's what until we figure it out. I refuse to cancel out anything or to speak anything with my mouth, and mess anything up. So not mess up my faith, you know what I'm saying? I'm believing, believing God, whatever it is, So then, so the news came, cancer. So as soon as what it was the Mama said something about some white blood cells in the blood count, but she didn't say anything other than that on the phone to me. But what they did was immediately they transferred her after the doctor came in and saw the whatever. Immediately they sent her to Northside Hospital, and I can remember feeling so helpless and so lost and so sad because of the unknown. Like, really, I just remember sitting there being numb. Like, really, like, really, And so they said it was acute, so immediately they sent her. I mean, they shipped her immediately out when the doctor, because it was acute. That means that within a matter of days she would have died, um, because of the form um, of cancer, because of it being in an acute state. So, okay, so I remember immediately thinking, oh Lord, I gotta research this because I'm the Google queen. So I got on Google and I was like, and I talked to Mama and I said, Mama, we believe in God, we're praying for you. Um, and I said, Mom, you're at the right place. Let them take care of you. So they sent her to Northside Hospital in Atlanta, which is one of the best hospitals for this. Um, um, so, let's see, was Kenneth at home with me? I don't think he was at home, so I had to tell him. And I didn't want to tell him. I didn't want to tell anybody, like, I was in disbelief. I just couldn't believe it. So, they sent her to Northside Hospital. When they got her to Northside Hospital, they did a battery of tests on her. I mean, from the rooter to the tutor. Honey, let me tell you, they checked everything on her. Everything. They ran her blood. They did all this. So then they started giving her. She had to have blood transfusions. She had to have chemo. And so I remember being at the hospital when the doctor came in, and he went. Okay, so so I think it was Sylvia and I were there. And I remember sitting there, and the doctor came in, and he said what Mama had, acute ALL is what they call it. And they had her, on this floor at the hospital where you had to scrub down to go in. All the air is being filtered in just this place. None of the air from the outside comes in. No germs, none of that. So, anyway, so he said, this is what she has. It is in an acute form. And he said they are going to aggressively do chemotherapy. And he had a very good prognosis for her. He was saying that many people live a long time with it. They go into remission pretty quickly with this and everything. And so, so he's, we got understanding she was going to do 4 days in the hospital on chemo. She was going to come back in the hospital and do 3 days. But for the first treatment, she was going to be in the hospital for a long time, basically like for a month. So Sylvia stayed with her. In my family, like my mother and her kids, whoever doesn't have the children is the one that go and help, And so by me having the kids, I couldn't stay in the hospital with Mama, but I would go on the weekends and stay with her. And so, so we were in good spirit because of what the doctor said, and we met so many people on that floor. You'd hear code blue and code this and that, and we just really stayed close to Mama and tried to lift her spirits, and she was doing really well. So soon after she took that first round of chemo, her hair was still there. She went into remission. Now the things that they had to do to her were they had to get some bone marrow, which she said that wasn't pleasant. They had to go and do a spinal tap, get some fluid out of her back, because the disease will hide in your spine fluids, and so they had to check that. What else? They put a PICC line in her, which is something I never heard of, where they run a small catheter to her heart, right to her heart, main artery or blood vessel to her heart. So, in the beginning, she tolerated the chemo pretty well. She got sick a little bit, but they have so much